Let me take you straight into either I was, spoon halfway to my mouth, running late on Pentagon code reviews, and my refrigerator same fridge that tells me when the milk's low blurts out, connection unstable due to unauthorized external access. You can imagine the soup hit the counter before the spoon did. See, I'd spent years building cyber defense systems for the government, tracking threats across time zones, outsmarting hackers who thought they were ghosts in the wires, and yet here I stood, outplayed by my own kitchen appliance. For a split second, I thought maybe, just maybe, some foreign actor had finally cracked my firewall. But no. Within minutes of my console, running packet traces and log combs, the real culprit wasn't China or Russia. It was Karen, my next-door neighbor, tapping into my Wi-Fi like it was free coffee at Starbucks and not even being subtle about it. Her network name literally read, Karen God Mode. To be fair, it started weeks before when little oddities crept into my daily routines. Delays on defense network calls, Pentagon servers flickering, smart lights in the hallway, flicking on at 3 a.m., printer spitting out blank pages, nothing catastrophic, just the sort of weirdness that gnaws at someone in my line of work. First, I blamed the ISP, maybe some firmware bug. But it only got worse until I found, hidden in the logs, a device spoofing my mesh network. Someone was leeching bandwidth, disguising themselves as one of my trusted home gadgets. So, I kicked into full threat hunting mode, running triangulation on signal strength, expecting maybe a rogue delivery drone or a neighbor's malfunctioning Alexa. Nope. The trail pointed directly at Karen's house. Now, Karen's reputation on our street, how do I put this delicately? She's the neighborhood's self-appointed enforcer, the kind who'd measure your grass and film kids skateboarding so she could email their parents. Patriotic yard decor outnumbered her actual flower beds, and she once called animal control on a squirrel. The irony? Her porch looked like a Pentagon outpost, multiple cameras, Ring doorbells, floodlights, all in the name of safety. So I got creative. I launched an audio script, a harmless loop that would trigger any Echo speaker connected to my network. This device is connected to a secure network. Unauthorized usage may result in surveillance. 5 minutes later, faint through her window, I heard my own robotic warning echoing back. I barely had time to laugh before she stormed up my driveway, phone clutched like a warrant, accusing me of sabotaging her precious HOA operations. Excuse me, your internet is interfering with my home system. I heard a strange voice through my Alexa, and now nothing loads. Netflix is down. This is serious. She ranted on about order and community standards, all while admitting, right to my face, that she'd heard my script through her own devices. I played dumb, let her stew, figured a little patience was the best trap. 2 days later, I'd mapped every device she'd snuck on my network. 7 in all, tablets, TVs, even a Wi-Fi microwave. Who needs a smart microwave? I'll never know. I didn't block her outright. Instead, I funneled her traffic through a decoy network throttled down to dial up speed's pure agony for someone used to binging 8 seasons of crime documentaries. She rebooted her router, called her provider, paced outside yelling, "It's his fault," at my house. And here's where it twisted from petty, freeloading to something far darker. Digging through traffic logs, I discovered she'd accessed not just my signal, but a neighbor's unsecured baby monitor. With a junky old app, she could view several device streams at once. That's how she'd been collecting dirt for her HOA evidence. Karen wasn't just nosy. She was running her own little surveillance state. I was done playing defense. So I went on the offensive. I built a honeypot network called Free HOA Wi-Fi. The moment Karen's devices joined, I logged everything: screen mirrors, file transfers, even folder names like neighbor notes and HOA footage. She cataloged people's lives. Red garage light on past 10 p.m. possible drugs. Backyard trampoline code violation. I compiled it all. 40 pages of screenshots, metadata, MAC addresses, even audio logs of her yelling at her cat when the Wi-Fi died. The next day, I packaged the evidence logs, voice clips, the works into a neat lawyer-grade dossier and handed it, anonymously, to the Real HOA board. I didn't mention where I worked or why I had such precise documentation. just facts. Unauthorized network use, invasive surveillance, fabricated accusations. The board called a closed-door emergency session. Karen, blissfully unaware, sat at the head of the table. I slipped in quietly, masked, hoodie up. They played the evidence. Her Alexa broadcasting my warning, her phone mirroring neighbor cam feeds, her laughing in a group chat at someone's patio furniture. The room went ice cold. Karen protested, shrieked about slander, but the timestamps didn't lie. When the board president asked, "Do you deny accessing other residents' devices?" she stammered something about maintaining order. That when I dropped her group chat message accusing me of being a government spy, which had nearly triggered a police wellness check and risked my security clearance. The board suspended her, pending investigation. She stormed out, hissing, "You have no idea who you're messing with." I couldn't help but smirk. Actually, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. She never heard me. Word spread faster than I could keep up. The leaked footage went viral, clips of Karen scrolling through baby monitor feeds, sipping wine, dubbed HOA or NSA, on local Facebook. Our resident tyrant became a suburban meme. Neighbors who'd once tiptoed around her now filed privacy complaints. One mom confessed she'd considered moving because Karen had her baby's monitor feed. Even the local news got in on it, blurring faces but not hiding whose fortress porch they were filming. The HOA's inbox flooded. Karen's cousin Bob, the legal advisor who'd taken a 6-week online course, threatened me with digital enticement and slander. I kept his letter added to my growing evidence pile. She didn't back down easily. One evening, a city code inspector showed up, sheepish. "I got a report about unauthorized surveillance equipment," he said. I invited him in, gave him the full tour, showed him my Pentagon clearance, handed him a copy of the dossier. He left with more respect for my server racks than for Karen's accusations. Meanwhile, the HOA adopted new Relesno resident could employ unauthorized tech surveillance, and a new digital safety policy was consulted by a local expert, me, but under wraps. But the plot twisted again. A Pentagon buddy called. "Jake, your home node flagged anomalies. Karen's piggybacking triggered civilian perimeter alerts. Your logs are now part of a federal case study." That was when it hit me. UHAT started as neighborly freeloading was now a cybersecurity module for national training. I spent a few late nights building out Sentinel Lite, a friendly, streamlined tool, so no one on my street would ever get blindsided by another Karen protocol. As for Karen, she tried a final stunt, broadcasting a malware-laden Wi-Fi signal labeled Justice_Avenge. Its only payload was a worm that crashed unsecured devices with animated legal threats and a robotic voice repeating, "You will regret what you did to Karen." My system caught it instantly, routed it to a sandbox, and then sent back a looping message. "I see you." The signal died. The next morning, a handwritten note landed in my mailbox. "Enough. You win. Don't escalate." I archived it. It wasn't about winning. It was about consequences. The board suspended her indefinitely. She went full analog. Cameras came down, yard signs vanished, HOA alerts reverted to paper. Neighbors smiled again, kids rode bikes, and for the first time, the air felt lighter, no one looking over their shoulder. Me? I kept my guard up, rebuilt my home as a digital fortress, and when the Pentagon asked me to share the Karen incident at a training seminar, I said yes. In the end, the greatest revenge wasn't humiliation. It was patience and building something strong enough that she and anyone else like her could never break it again. But here's the real twist, the open question. How many Karens does it take before a whole country learns the value of privacy? Would you defend your digital boundary or let a neighbor turn your life into their own episode of suburban surveillance? Let me know whose side are you on, and where would you draw the line?